Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Money and Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Sheryka Alford, here with.
Anntricia Bray Smith.
We have the pleasure of being joined today with Wood and Britt Smith of Debt Me Not. And we're going to talk about being on one accord. If you've listened to the Money and Mindset show, you know that we have talked about relationships and money on several occasions. And oftentimes it's kind of a sensitive area, but today we are actually going to hear from a couple who are on this debt-free journey together. So Wood and Britt, they are going to share with us their story and hopefully give us, the rest of us, some tips as to how we can become on one accord with regards to this debt freedom journey. So,
I
Wood,
need
Britt,
all that. I need all that oneness. Whew.
yes, oneness. And Trisha, you have your ink pen and your notepad ready.
Lies. I'm gonna listen first. I'm gonna listen first and oosah, then I'll come back and take notes later.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna quit yapping and let Wood and Britt tell us about yourself and just enlighten the audience. You guys started with $87,987 worth of debt, and that was February of 2020. So just a year ago. So that's where you started, and just give us your story and let us know where you are today.
Yes. So we actually are going to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary this October. So through those 10 years, we've spent together, we've sacrificed together, we've done everything together. So when we fund money, we spent it to max. So we actually, in January of 2020, we were returning from a beach trip, a family beach trip. It was just a quick weekend getaway. And we just noticed, looking at our checking account statement, we spent over $1,000, maybe $1,200 in a weekend, just frivolous, just food, hotels, just the experience. And again, we didn't have issues with paying our normal expenses and our normal bills, but we just saw that it was getting out of hand. We weren't meeting any traction when it came to saving for retirement. We weren't meeting traction when it came, sadly to say, for our daughter's education for college. We were reliant on student loans like we were relying on student loans in the past. So we knew that something had to change. Right. So in January of 2020, I came across Dave Ramsey's YouTube channel. The Dave Ramsey show, he will actually get you motivated and get the fire under you to get out of bondage and out of debt. So to us, we thought we were normal. We were paying our student loan payments on time. We're paying our credit card bills on time, but where's our savings? So that's when we actually came together, talked about our expenses, put everything pen to paper, and saw that we were almost $90,000 in debt. If we didn't stop, it could have been $100,000 if we didn't reach that realization and that come to Jesus moment. So we came together, got on the plan, and currently we're actually looking to be consumer debt free by the summer.
Okay. First of all, yay! Let me give you that applause, because that is a great accomplishment. Now, question. Have you guys been on the same page from day one, or did one of you kind of have to convince the other? What were the dynamics there? How did that work out?
So, like Brittany said, it's
that's
one
a
of
no. That's
right. It is.
No.
Yeah. Right. That's definitely a no. I would say when we first got married, definitely not. It was, this is how much money you put in the checking account so we can pay bills, and you do with your money left over what you want to do. So I think last year was basically, Brittany getting into the Dave Ramsey, coming to tell me different things, and just having an open mind, because our communication had grown a lot. So we were able to communicate and kind of understand where the other one's coming from. So I think it wasn't until about last year that we said, let's tackle this debt together.
Right.
I
Okay.
think I'm still waiting on that come to Jesus moment. I'm still waiting on that moment. I'm just like, and what? That's yours. No, but like in my household, we, like I said, I've said so many times before, that was something that we don't even talk about. You want to start a war? Ask me something about finances. So no, but what I did was I started playing Till Death Do Us Part on the YouTube channels, and my husband was beginning to hear that, and so my daughters, they begin to hear that, and so now everybody's, oh, now it's a conversation about finances, a little less stressful now, but I had to have some help over here. I had to have some third-party help coming through the TV.
Now you guys said Dave Ramsey helped you get started. Now I'm just curious. Do you follow his steps as, because I am aware of the baby steps in the order that he recommends them? Because I know, like myself and other people, we may listen to some of, his guidance, but kind of tweak it in a different way to make it work according to our lifestyle. So the question I'm trying to find out, did you follow it like specifically just like Dave Ramsey has it set up, or did you kind of customize it to fit you guys?
I feel that we customize it, and I definitely feel that personal finance is definitely personal. So we did tweak some of his principles just to fit our lifestyle. Dave's the type of person that says you should not be stepping foot into a restaurant if you have debt. You should not be going on vacation if you have debt. Well, we knew that this journey was going to take over a year, and we didn't want to feel like we were depriving ourselves or punishing ourselves. Yes, we did sign up for these notes and this debt, but we didn't want to basically punish ourselves and become unmotivated. So we definitely still, went out to eat. We definitely still partaked in a couple of things that were fun on the weekends, but we didn't go overboard. We have a set budget for miscellaneous, and we stick to that. So if the miscellaneous fund is done for the month, we're not going out to eat. Right. But so we still follow his principles and his guidelines and the baby steps, but we do kind of, take it with a grain of salt. All right.
That's awesome. See, audience, if you're just joining us here on the Money and Mindset podcast, we have Wood and Britt with us from Debt Me Not. And just like she said, personal finance is personal. You can listen to all the YouTube videos and podcasts and read the books, but in order to have success while you're setting up your plan, you need to set it up in a way that, one, you're going to be motivated to stick with it, and two, it's not going to deprive you as you are reaching your goals. And so I appreciate you bringing that out and sharing that with us. Now, you say you have a daughter. How old's your daughter?
Yes, she's 14.
14. So as you guys are going through this journey, are you sitting down with her and teaching her these principles, or what type of teachable moments are you sharing with her? Or do you, and I guess, does she like kind of roll her eyes at you, or get, because I have teenagers too. So what's that like?
Right. So I'll say maybe when we first started, we did have a talk with her because, we didn't want her to miss out on certain things her friends were doing, and we wanted her to know, hey, we have a budget now. So some of the things, every time you wanted something, because she's the only child, she got it basically. We wanted her to understand exactly what we were trying to accomplish, and to also let her know it was for her. There's a saying that we say all the time: we're willing to go broke for our kids, but are we willing to get rich for our kids? Right. Like, are we willing to, all those promissory notes that we have out there, are we willing to take care of all of that? So if something happens to us, our kids don't inherit that debt, but inherit wealth from us. So we've sat down with her, had those conversations with her, and it just depends on the day. Whether we get the eye roll or not. When we first started out, she loves math. So, my wife would show her the spreadsheets and would actually let her apply the payments where they needed to go. So right now she's excited about being able to start working, get that worker's permit in North Carolina. So we want her to be able to understand, like, when you get that check, that doesn't mean go get the latest Jordans. That doesn't mean upgrade your cell phone, and then you have nothing left over. So we're trying to show her at an early age how you can accomplish things and still, be able to spend money on things that you actually want, but also make sure you have a savings in the background.
That's good. I'm also wondering, guys, because you guys are entrepreneurs in your own light, your own podcasts and things like that. Is that a conversation that comes up with your daughter as well?
It really does. She wants to do it all. She wants to start baking because she saw me bake a few years ago. She wants to start baking. She loves to cook. She loves to do makeup, hair. She wants to be the all-in-all entrepreneur. So I let her know that the sky's the limit. She can do whatever she sets her mind to.
Awesome. So when's the start date on that cooking show? Because I got a couple of college students that can benefit from that.
So hopefully that's coming real soon. Of course, we're not cool because we only have a certain amount of followers. Right. So, when we're compared to, the people that have 1 million followers on YouTube or, likes on Facebook and everything like that, those are the people she's kind of attracted to. Right. So she listens to our videos sometimes. We get more of a reaction out of our nephew, who's 5 this month. He'll be 5 this year. So he'll say, uncle, auntie, when it's on YouTube. So that kind of makes us feel better. But I think we're still in the laying phase until we get some more followers.
Hey, I'm always there. I'm always there. And it's okay. It's okay. But I applaud you guys for just the work that you're putting in. And it just goes to show, guys, when we're working as a team, when we have that support, we can accomplish anything. It's easy for me to sit here and say that I'm on this debt-free journey to reach financial independence, but how much better when we can bring the whole family along. So it is a conversation, and just being here and the influence that you do have. If we're reaching 100, that says something. That's 100 more that wouldn't be reached by some of these larger platforms that we're not going to listen to. Let's just be honest. How long have Dave Ramsey and Hogan? How long have they been there talking about finances and all this? Susie Orman and all these others that are out here talking about the things that we need, but it took years even for someone to reach me. And so it takes each of us living in our purpose, doing what we know can benefit others, putting it out there. So whoever comes across our platforms, together we're making the greatest impact. So I just applaud you guys and for sharing some of that that you're doing. And it hadn't taken you so long to bring down that $80-something thousand worth of debt, but it's taken me longer with my 70,000 alone by myself to get those numbers down. But just think it, your team matters, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how did your family react? Did you share, did you verbalize with them and say, hey guys, we're changed? Because I'm sure they had to notice a change, because you had said you were living your best lives, doing all this traveling, spending weekend thousands of dollars, eating. What was the response from your family?
Oh, my goodness. They thought
wait a minute. Let's clear this up. It ain't just eating. Come on now.
Yeah, that's right.
We were having food, fun, family, all that good old stuff. It wasn't just eating. So don't think these people went out and ate no $1,000 in the weekend. Come on now.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
They thought we were absolutely broke.
Yep.
They thought we were crazy. And we actually just moved into our new home in 2019. They thought we were struggling with all aspects of our life, the home, our car payments. They were offering to give us funds. We let them know, no, we have commas in our bank account. They're designated and they have intention for something else. They were inviting us over to dinner, which was actually great. Those were some nights that we didn't have to cook. So that was perfectly fine. But anytime we brought up the subject, we're on a debt-free journey, they would listen to us and they would grasp what we're saying. But the next day, again, them being concerned family members and concerned mother and father and in-laws, they just wanted to help. But we just had to explain to them, we're on a journey right now, not in this season. We're not going to go on vacation. Right now in this season, we're not going to go to Ruth Chris and drop a $200 bill on dinner, just not right now. So they understood after a couple of months.
They're still trying to understand, to be honest. We became the local charity case, if you will. Both of our families on both sides, they're so loving and they want to be there for us. So to see someone go, like you said, from living our best life to, oh no, they don't want to go this weekend. Should we pay for their trip? Or, they're trying to figure out what's going on, even with the YouTube channel, even with, us helping other individuals by sharing what we're doing. It's still like, there's something else, something ain't right. So, we became a charity case, basically.
Yeah. So I wonder how that plays on your psyche. Have you felt vulnerable to give in sometimes, or have you enough discipline between the both of you to just, it doesn't matter what anyone says, this is where our focus and our mind is right now?
Absolutely. I got to the point, and I'm a people pleaser at heart, have been since a child. I got to the point where I didn't care what people thought. We got to the point where I just got a 2019 Mazda CX-5. My husband had a 2018 Nissan. We sold both cars. And then we purchased cash a 2005 Hyundai Santa Fe. It has over 170,000 miles, but it's wonderful. We've never had any issues after that car. We got, kind of side eyes with that, hey, we have to downgrade in car to meet some of these goals. But what we had to realize and what we're trying to share to people is just because you can afford the payments doesn't mean you can afford it. So I definitely got to the point where I really didn't care what people thought. I knew what I was doing, and the intention that I was putting on my money was definitely just gonna blossom throughout the future. So that's how I felt.
I definitely agree. I think so many times, like in our culture, we're told like it's what you have that shows the wealth, or it's what you have that shows how accomplished you are. Right. So, even with us purchasing our first home, we went outside of our city limits so that we could get the biggest house we could, for our price range. And it wasn't to really show off. It was just to say, hey, we've accomplished something. We both have good jobs. We both have decent pay. And we didn't want something small. We felt like we needed something huge. And it's three of us. And, over 3,000 square feet, we can all go to a different corner and not see each other. But, and it was just something that was like embedded in both of us, not to show off again, but to basically, let's enjoy the money that we have, or let's enjoy the job and the education that we're still paying for. Let's enjoy that. So.
Absolutely. Now we know that anytime we reach a goal, we have to have more goals to replace that goal, to keep those things in front of us. And so with that being said, we have to continuously learn. And you mentioned that you started with Dave Ramsey. Are you still getting your education for finances under Dave Ramsey, or have you graduated onto other platforms to learn more about finances?
Well, definitely the debt-free community on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, they've welcomed us with open arms. We definitely love learning from one another. Dave Ramsey is great to give us the principles and just to give us the starting points, but we definitely learn from everyone, absolutely everyone.
Do you have any suggestions for some of our listeners to some of the platforms that they can listen to specifically? I can start out, like I've graduated over to the platform of Lynn Richardson. She has several financial platforms, and I really feel like I've taken on leaps and bounds in 2021 just by connecting to her platform. So do you have any that you suggest for our listeners?
Yes, I love Tasha with Mind Your Money. She's awesome. She's on Instagram, and she actually helps us out with budgeting and creating templates. I'm great with spreadsheets, but she's also great with putting the pen to the paper. I also like Brittany from Brit Plans Life. She's on Instagram and YouTube. There's a couple of other ladies that I like, but yes, definitely check those ladies out. They're wonderful.
I don't have any. Dave Ramsey gave me, the snippet that I needed. And my wife watches all the other ones and she comes and tells me I really don't have a lot of free time. So I kind of leave it on her to do the research and then, I'll hop on board basically.
That sounds like the best plan, and it seems to be working. So, speaking of best plans, what advice would you guys give a couple, you know, that's trying to get on one accord on this financial journey? What words of wisdom would you have to offer them?
Let's see. I guess I'll start.
Sure.
I guess with mine, besides the budget, besides getting the resources, besides finding your guru that you want to watch, start with just dreaming together. That was our biggest point, is just to dream together. Like we would sit up at night looking at the ceiling, talking to each other. What would our life be without payments? How would we be able to give? My husband actually is going to be starting a church soon in the Concord area of North Carolina. So thank you. And so with no debt payments, how much more can we give to our community? How much more can we give to our congregation? And not just monetary, our time. I'm really an advocate of not retiring at 65 or whatever retirement age, but I want to stop trading my time for money. That's what I see. So when I become a little bit more involved with my community and become more involved with teaching people about money, I don't have to work. I still like to have the option of work, but I don't have to trade my time for money for 9 to 5. So that's definitely my goal. Just dream what you can do without payments.
Right. I definitely agree with that. I think the first thing, this is going to sound very corny, but it's communication. Like, even if we can't come eye to eye with, how to save or what to pay off first, or if this is your money or if this is my money, having communication as to where you actually hear the other person out will sometimes let you see what you don't see, if that makes sense. So, all the time, even now when we come up with a budget for something we want to accomplish, Brittany will have in her mind, this is the way we need to do it. And I'm a critical thinker at heart. So like even on my job, I'm always looking for how is this not going to work? So, I'm checking the math over again. I'm checking behind her again to make sure that it's going to actually work. And sometimes, I have to say, oh, yeah, you're right. Or, I'm wrong, or whatever the issue is, or whatever, we're trying to accomplish. But definitely having open lines of communication, even if we just, say together, hey, let's try combining our bank accounts. I know that's a big thing up there. Or,
Hey, it took us what?
Lies.
It took us a while.
It wasn't until year 5 that we
Yeah.
actually combined our funds into one account. We had, the household account, and then we had 2 separate savings and 2 separate checkings.
Yes.
And, that's a lot of logins to keep up with. So, of course, with the one, you're able to see what's going on. And especially if you have communication, it's not that I'm asking for permission. It's not that she's asking for permission. It's that, we have one goal in mind. And that's, our topic today is one accord. So, that's being on one accord. It's making sure that we have that one goal in mind and how we can accomplish that one goal.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for those gems, and I'm over here laughing and grinning. I'll just be honest. My husband and I finally had joint accounts. I think it took us year number 18 and a half. So, I mean, yeah, I can relate. I get it. And we'll just let Anntricia stay over there, and she might faint, fall out of her chair. We'll just leave her be. But yes, that is absolutely amazing information. And tell our audience, how can they find you? How can they connect with you?
Yes, you all can find us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is titled Debt Me Not. Also, you can find us on Instagram, Det Me Not, but there's a period in between each word, and on Facebook, Det Me Not with the Smiths.
Not this Smith, guys. Don't get not this Smith.
Great. I will be sure to put these links in the show notes. And I think that's going to wrap up this episode. Again, I applaud you on your progress so far. And I do expect you guys to come back again. We're not Dave Ramsey, but we'd like to hear your debt-free scream on the Money and Mindset podcast. And congratulations to you with your church. And I wish you well in all your endeavors.
Yes, when it gets to streaming online, go ahead and send the link. Send the link.
You know we will. Yes.
Will do. Definitely.
Yeah, so that's it for this episode of the Money and Mindset podcast. I am your host, Sheryka Alford, and she is
Dead. Anntricia Bray Smith. Until next time, guys.